so much has changed since what I predicted for the playoffs at the start of the 2020 season. For example, I predicted the Nuggets would win a series, and now I think that an underdog could seriously make some noise. So I thought of making a playoff prediction video for you guys because I think it's pretty cool. I believe in a lot of contenders, and I think the playoffs are a fun ride for us. So let's get started. So let's begin in the Western Conference. Lakers and Portland. I'm sure the Lakers will make do of Portland in 5 games. I mean, I know Dave and his crew have been on fire, but that was more of an emotional outburst for them. They had to make the 8th seed, or else expectations would just fall for him. Come on, bro. LeBron really wants to make some noise after all you guys have been terrible in the bubble. Your offense sucks. Against the Portland Trailblazers defense, seriously, how are they gonna guard Anthony Davis? Okay, maybe Hassan Whiteside. How are they gonna guard LeBron? That's why I take Lakers any day. And now, Houston and OKC. I know these guys played today, and OKC kind of got destroyed. But Chris Paul wants revenge. Chris Paul doesn't like the way James Harden ball hogs, but James Harden didn't like the way Chris Paul ran the team or why he was always healthy. And now, CP3 gets revenge. And I know you guys might be like, oh, this is going to be a tight series, and I know it's going to be tight. It's going to be at least 6 games. But as I told you, I think the Rockets benefited most from the 4-month outbreak. I mean, Russell Westbrook's quad injury might derail them a little bit, but I believe in Harden's ability to score. Only to score, not his defense. Right? So I'm pretty sure that the Rockets will win in at least 6 games. Rockets win in 6, maybe even 7, probably 6. And now the Nuggets on Utah. This is a very exciting matchup because the Nuggets had one of the biggest storylines in Michael Porter Jr. this bubble, right? I know they've been really good. I know you guys are going to be like, oh my god, he's amazing, but Nikola Jokic has the advantage on Rudy Gobert. I'm telling you guys, and there are a lot of teams I would bet on that beat the Nuggets in the playoffs, especially since they lack experience, and I feel like the Jazz might be one of them. I know they're missing Mike Conley for 2 games. They already played a game and the Jazz lost, but that's without Mike Conley. I predict that the Jazz will upset the Denver Nuggets. And Donovan Mitchell has been amazing again. He's been so comfortable against the Nuggets. You've seen him in the bubble, right? He's been so comfortable in the bubble. I mean, this is not about the teams or anything. This is about Spider Mitchell. He dropped 57 points on them. The Jazz literally hunt 3s, and the Nuggets give up 3s. The Nuggets' defense is awful, and they've been horrible in the bubble. And again, the Nuggets are leaning on the rookie to give them some playoff wins. I'd bet on the Utah Jazz in 7 games. And now, the Clippers have been... But come on, I think they win in 5. I know the Clippers are a super team, right? They are a super team, guys. There's nothing that can stop them. Luka and KP are inexperienced in the playoffs, but I think that the Magic can win 1 game, maybe even 2 with the way Luka has performed. You guys know in the first game, Porzingis got ejected for no reason, and the Clippers won, but I believe in the Clippers. Now Lakers and Houston. So, listen to me carefully here, guys. I think if the Houston can get Lakers to play small, I think the Houston has a chance to upset. But listen to me. If the Lakers guard one of the guards, then the other MVP, or it might be Westbrook, it might be Harden, is going to go off. But the key to this series is Anthony Davis and LeBron James, right? PJ Tucker, Robert Covington will always be on Anthony Davis. But the Rockets have no answer for LeBron James. I mean, if you want to put LeBron James and James Harden, good luck. LeBron becomes a beast in the playoffs, and there's nothing you can do to stop him. Lakers win in 6. Right? And then, meanwhile, the easy road continues for the Clippers against the Utah Jazz. I predict that the Clippers will win. And the Jazz will be worn out from a long series against the Denver Nuggets, a 7-game series. And the Jazz bench is not that good. We'll see how Rudy Gobert does against the Clippers' biggest problem, size. But if you're leaning on Rudy Gobert's offense, that's a sign. And I think Clippers win in 6. And I know the Jazz are a good team, but now the finals, the Clippers versus the Lakers. And listen to me here, guys. The key to this series might have to be Kyle Kuzma. These teams are so evenly matched, but listen to me. I couldn't pick 2 better defenders in the league than Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to guard LeBron and AD. Those are the 2 best wing defenders in the league. Apart from their 2 stars, I think the Lakers are mediocre. And then meanwhile, the Clippers bench is elite. These guys are fire. They can easily outscore the Lakers bench. And I predict Clippers will win in 6. Now let's go to the Eastern Conference. Milwaukee on Orlando, guys. Milwaukee will win in 5. I know Orlando hasn't been that good without Jonathan Isaac, and Nikola Vucevic cannot go 35 and 13 every single game. Evan Fournier can't go hot. The shooters can't go hot. The Bucks shooters can't go cold. 4 out of 7 times in one series. I predict Bucks. And now, Indiana versus Miami. This series would be a lot different if it wasn't for injuries. I mean, Victor Oladipo has been a shell of himself since he came back. Domantas Sabonis is injured. And the Heat do rely on 3 young guys who I normally wouldn't bet against. But for now, I'm going Miami in 5. Now Boston and Philly. This is another series that will be very different without injuries. Ben Simmons' injury is such a loss to the Sixers. Like, Embiid has to be like an MVP night in and night out. Ben Simmons could easily guard one of Boston's elite wings, but now Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can easily go off. And I know Embiid is going to be elite against the Celtics' small big men in Enes Kanter and Daniel Theis, but I still think Boston will win in 6. And now Toronto and Brooklyn. Okay, maybe this series would have been won by Brooklyn. Actually, they probably would if Kyrie and Durant played, but no. The Raptors are an elite defensive team, and the Brooklyn has no chance against the Raptors. Brooklyn will be lucky to win 1 game, so I predict Toronto in 5, maybe even 4, right? And now, conference semifinals. Milwaukee on Miami. Well, okay, this is going to be a really fun matchup. The Heat have one of the players who can guard Giannis in one-on-one and Bam Adebayo, so they can actually shut down Giannis. But Jimmy Butler is another experienced playoff member, and the Heat are an amazing three-point shooting team, and the Bucks give up the most threes in NBA history. But the problem here is the Heat's inexperience. I think Giannis will easily defeat the Milwaukee and the Miami, and they'll win in 6. And now Boston and Toronto. This is another fun matchup, right? Jason Tatum is an elite scorer. Kyle Lowry isn't the scorer he once was, and I'm pretty sure the Celtics have a better overall team. Their bench is sort of the same thing. They match up really well versus each other, but look at this. 4 of the 6 best players on the floor are Celtic players. Actually, no, if you don't believe me, I'll list them out for you, right? So, we have literally, like, Jason Tatum, Pascal Siakam, Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Kyle Lowry, and Gordon Hayward. 4 of the 6 best players on the court are Celtic, and I think the Raptors don't really stand a chance against the Celtics. Raptors fans are about to get a wake-up call based on how they performed in the regular season. I think Boston wins in 6. Milwaukee and Boston in the conference finals. This is another exciting series, but I don't think the Celtics have anyone who can guard Giannis. They're such a small team, especially their center, and I don't think they can actually stop Giannis like no one can. I know Jaylen Brown might go off against Dante DiVincenzo or something, but I don't think that the Celtics really stand that much of a chance. They have to hope that the Bucks shooters go cold, Giannis doesn't do well, and that's too much to hope. Milwaukee wins in 5 or 6. And now, the finals, it's Kawhi versus Giannis again. The standard battle. And here's what I think. Kawhi is a beast in the playoffs. I mean, the Clippers have 2 guys who can literally force Giannis to pass instead of shooting. And that's not a good thing for Giannis or the Bucks, right? So the Clippers have 2 guys who can literally go off. Literally. If you can guard one guy, if you guard one guy, the other guy's gonna go off. And I don't think that's a good thing for the Bucks. Clippers take the W here. They become the NBA champions while Giannis leaves to another team from Milwaukee. And I'm about to ask you guys to do something very, very special. It's completely impossible. Please subscribe. No, but seriously though, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Cannot tell how much it helps us out. Turn on notifications. Really helps out the channel. And I'll see you guys in our next video.
I got in Atlanta, just to the lean in the family. Credit cards in the scammers, hitting the licks in the